Howdy, folks, and welcome back to WandaVision. We are up to Season 1, Episode 7. Now, I'm recording this a little late. You might notice it's a little brighter in this room. That's because it's daytime now. So, I had a busy day yesterday, and I tried to record after midnight here on the West Coast, and I was just too tired. Around 11:30, I said, you know what, I'm not going to do it. So, went to bed, recording in the morning, but it's late enough that now I have a title, Breaking the Fourth Wall. There was a description. I didn't read it. I don't want to be spoiled by that, so let's... I was going to say let's dive into this, but really quickly though, let's remember where we left off. The biggest question, of course, is what's become of Darcy? Oh fudge! What happened to her inside? Will we find out this episode? Will we even see? Are they moving to another decade? Is it going to continue a sitcom in there, or is it just basically going to revert to modern day and everybody's just playing a role and there's not really a sitcom aspect to it? I wonder if at some point they're going to do that, where they're not going to bother with title sequences and stuff and commercials, but maybe they will continue that. I don't know. They didn't have a commercial in episode 4, did they? Because that was mostly outside. I don't think they had a commercial in that one. They definitely had a closing sequence because it was kind of the end of episode 3. Anyway, whatever. I digress. So, are we going to know who Monica went to meet, who her guy is? And of course, guy kind of implies male, but could be anybody. I'm still thinking maybe this will be, instead of being the way to, I think it's going to be a double fake. We thought that they were introducing the X-Men universe and the Fox universe with Quicksilver, but it looks like that's not who it is. It looks like he doesn't have the memories of the Fox Quicksilver. He has memories of the MCU one, but he was also indicating to Wanda that, he believed she brought him there to antagonize him, or antagonize her, pardon me, and he started questioning her on a lot of stuff that didn't kind of made sense if you thought it was coming from her subconscious, but it could also make sense if it was a bad guy or somebody else. So I think it's a double fake. I don't think they're introducing the X-Men in WandaVision, but I do think they're planting the seed for Fantastic Four. So I think we're going to get Reed Richards. That's my bet. My bet is Reed Richards. Been my bet for a while. The only time it wasn't was when people pointed out that the subtitles in other languages indicated a feminine version of the engineer, the Astro Aaron, whatever. So that was the only time I doubted Reed Richards. But before that, I thought it was Reed Richards, and now I think it's Reed Richards. So I guess we'll find out. Will we find out in this episode? Will we see her guy? Also, what about Hayward? He escaped with a couple of his guys, so is he going to come back in force, or is he going to run away and like a scared little baby? Because and she could barely, whoever's controlling this. I know it's a she, right? Because Norm said, "Get her, make her stop." She's in my mind. We believe it's Wanda, but who knows? Will she be able to control all these new people that Wanda has brought in? Or will she be overtaxed? She was overtaxed already because people on the outskirts, as Vision found, weren't doing anything. They were still, or they were given a looping order, and they could never get out of it. So with a lot of new people, and it looked like she might have maybe doubled the size. I don't know exactly. They might mention it. They might mention from the outside if somebody does some analysis about how big it is now. But you got to imagine this is going to attract the attention now of a lot of other people, right? This was a small little town, and Sword was like, "Okay, we got this, don't worry." Now if it's this much bigger, maybe it crosses an interstate or something. In which case, other people are going to be aware of this and maybe want to do something to try, especially since the Sword team got wiped out. So, a lot of things in play. I don't know what's going to happen. Let's find out. Yeah, and what is this going to do to Darcy? Because she pointed out this thing about it rewriting the cells, and a lot of people are speculating that might be turning Monica into her comic book persona, which is a superpowered, I think she went by a lot of names, Photon or something as well. I don't know. It might be turning her into that superpowered person. So is it kind of, and the question is it a mutation? They said that, Darcy says it's rewritten her cells on a molecular level. Is that considered a mutation? Is she a mutant? Or is that considered more like what happened to Spider-Man, where his cells were rewritten because of the bite of the spider? to become something else. So is this a transformation or a mutation? Maybe that's the right way to put it, right? And will the same thing happen to Darcy? Or will she be unaffected? That'd be kind of cool to see Kat Dennings as a superhero in the MCU, wouldn't it? I think so. Well, they showed us Darcy going in, so there's real hope that we'll get that answer pretty quickly. Okay, Wanda and sleeping. Okay, so they're continuing the family sitcom trope. So it is continuing. I'm not recognizing this one yet. It's somewhere in the 2010s, I imagine, if they moved another decade. But talking to the camera, family situation, it's probably one of those more recent. I've stopped watching broadcast TV in general, especially for non-science fiction fantasy stuff, decades ago. So I'll probably recognize it if you tell me what it is, but I'm probably not going to recognize it on my own. What? You can't figure out what the video games, or the games can't figure out what generation they are, what decade they are. It's going backwards to Uno? To a card game, basically? Interesting. She's still in her comic book outfit? WNDA. Did you see that? I don't know if you could hear that if you didn't have the subtitles on, but the radio is. Thanks for tuning into WNDA. Wanda. Oh, everything is kind of phasing in and out. Look at this. She's losing track of, or control, whoever's doing it. I guess it's her, but whoever is losing track of, or control over being able to set everything to the same. One of the side effects of being so large, I guess. Is this one of those shows that one of the female comedians did as their show with their name on it? There's been a couple of them over. Well, there was New Girl, but I don't think this is New Girl. I think this is probably, I can't remember her name. Mindy? Is it like her show? Is that her name? Mindy Kaling? We got new people now. Well, not new people. So he's brought in reinforcements. They've set up a new perimeter. He's just resuming what he was doing before. He's not learning much. The Vision's okay, but he was just left out there? Where the circus is, of course. He will fit right in with clowns, though. There she is! And she's still essentially attached, cuffed, chained to the vehicle. I was wondering if she would be herself, but it looks like she's not going to be.
Gotta be honest.
Oh, wow, that's an interesting way to... That's a really interesting way to put this. Memory from last night with locked eyes, there was unspoken understanding. She's thinking, he is definitely a creeper.
Understanding.
Oh, wait a minute. If people have been speculating that she is involved in this and that the goal is to get the boys. So is this the first step of trying to secure them? Wanted to agree to let her take care of them? And then next thing we know, they have been abducted? Losing control. Somebody is. Okay, so she was able to revert everything back. Does that mean she's in control entirely to begin with? The thing about this show is as soon as you think you figured it out, they throw something in that makes it confusing again. So I kind of love it. Obviously, she can do all of these things. She can change everything around. And probably has. I don't know why I'm doubting that, but just wondering. All right, we're going to see the guy?
Darcy made it through that last back online.
That's what I was afraid of. That's exactly what I was afraid of. And not afraid of, but what I suspected. Wanda did not, I think I might have mentioned this in another reaction. Wanda didn't kidnap Vision's body. Didn't steal Vision's corpse. I think Wanda found out that they were experimenting on Vision. And that infuriated her. And she went and she essentially rescued him from them. And that's what triggered this whole thing. rescuing his body, realizing what they'd been doing to him, the grief of having to kill him and then watching him be killed in front of her and all of that. It just all came to a head. But I think definitely they were doing bad things with Vision, and she rescued him. She stopped them from doing that.
So,
We're going to get it. Who's the guy? That's more military, though, so, I think these are scrolls. People are talking about the scrolls. I bet you these are scrolls. With the mother loyalty thing, you'd start thinking it's Air Force loyalty. But when she said not the only ones we're loyal to, let's show you what we brought. Are these scrolls? Like people were suspecting? They were suspecting that the little girl scroll that was a little girl when she was a little girl grew up, and this might even be her. But is it going to be scrolls? Oh, it's sword. Oh, so this has all the shielding that she talked about. Oh, yeah, he could do that to her.
Sorry. Come on.
Hey, where do you think you're going?
Can't fix it.
Maybe you can't fix it because you didn't do it.
Maybe this is what you deserve.
Feeling depressed.
Now they are doing an ad.
Like the
I mean, it's definitely a reference to Wanda today, her current state, what she's doing, and moving on and all that. Is that it? Is that how deep it goes? The rabbit's back. Oh, maybe she isn't. Okay, that either means she's got a block up, or she really isn't involved or in control in any way, shape, or form. And she really is just a player.
Do you think our mom...
Yep, they've got all the shielding they wanted.
Captain.
This has got to be Skrulls. This crew. And it looks like Guy was just a generic, non-gender specific guy thing. I mean, who hasn't? A lot of people, I often say you guys when I'm talking about all sorts of genders, men and women. So she was saying guy in a gender neutral way. I think, maybe. Unless that Skrull she talked to, who appearing to be a female human, was actually a male Skrull. I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe. Maybe not. I'm sorry to be a stickler for details, but I love the space program. Capcom is capsule communications for space capsules. I don't think it would apply in this case, but okay. Will it even get through Wanda's barrier, or will Wanda's barrier just destroy this thing? That's what I figured. It's not going to go through easily. Ah, failure. Failure.
Watch out!
Oh, front part's a car. Or a van. Can she? I don't think she can. Huh? She did. Is this Monica becoming the superpowered person? Is this the final step? Oh, wow. Look at the eyes. Yep. Nothing got transformed. And look at those eyes. She sees it differently. She's not transformed and she's not under control.
Take your time, fellas.
Just cut through the grass.
I understand.
Wanda, you have to take it down. No.
Okay, take back what I said about Agnes. She is involved again. So it must have been a shield that was blocking her mind. So that Billy couldn't read it. She is absolutely involved. When she saw what was going on, she marched right out there and made sure to pull Wanda away so that Monica couldn't talk her out of it. Yeah, where did her kids go? Okay, Agnes has to know she's down here. I'm sure all of this means something to comic book fans, but I don't know the connection yet. I'm sure that means something to comic book fans. I don't know what it is.
Wanda, did you?
So she is Agatha the Witch that they've been talking about. And that's what breaking the fourth wall really meant, was that she's taking down that fourth wall and exposing what's really going on. Uh-oh. So this is now Agatha's show. Or has it always been?
Killed Sparky, too.
Yeah, we figured that part. Oh, boy. Okay, let's confirm. No, oh, wow. Is there always a shot of Vision like that? Okay. But there's no extra. Hang on. There is a scene. They finally did it. Knew they would. Here we go. Okay, is this Agatha's house? Yep, with the basement entry.
Snoop.
Oh, and he's still there. So he, instead of being Pietro, he, I guess, is her husband, who a lot of people are saying could be any number of comic book characters disguised as Pietro, which a lot of people were suspecting. Okay. So is Monica going to be able to withstand the effects, the purple magic? She had the purple on her face there, like she was under the influence, but she seemed in control when, I'll call him Pietro, said, Sneaker's going to sneak or Snooper's going to snoop or whatever he said. So they finally snuck one in. I knew they would. I hope other reactors see that and catch it. Because we got to check. Because Marvel, they do that kind of stuff. Okay, so a lot of cool stuff in this one. We got the answer right away on Darcy. We know that she was, but Vision snapped her out of it before too much damage was done and too much pain was incurred, I guess. And now she's been snapped out, right? Vision would have to put her back in. So she's out. I guess maybe whoever, now that we know it's probably Agatha, is brain controlling everybody. She could theoretically push Darcy back in, maybe. I don't know. Maybe Vision gave her protection. But anyway, she's a free agent now. Monica's a free agent now. Wanda knows doesn't know what's going on, but she knows that somebody else is controlling her. So I'm guessing, my first thought was, a long time ago, was that Wanda had taken Vision's body to this location. This is, not that this was her destination, but that this is where she happened to be when she maybe, bedded down for the night or something. And in her grief, the Agatha sensed it or something, and Agatha created this whole thing around her without her knowing it. And she even said, and so she was honest last episode, or 2 episodes ago, when she said, I don't even know how this started. I think she's completely honest. I think she just woke up and it was the 50s and Vision was there, which would imply that she didn't bring Vision back, right? That Agatha did that. That's interesting, that Agatha's giving Vision life. Or maybe she woke up in this time period with Vision disassembled again, and Wanda put Vision back together. I don't know. We don't have an answer on that one yet about who actually put Vision back together. But yeah, that kind of jibes with my initial theory that she just, this is where she had gotten to when she was escaping with Vision's body, and then everything was built up around her. So she didn't create the hex, the first hex. She did reinforce it. It's got her red magic around it now. But the initial hex was done by Agatha. Agatha. You imagine Agatha. I think her husband is obviously another player here. Somebody that she is a worshiper of or a follower of, or maybe she really is married to this person. And there's a lot of speculation from comic book folks about who that could be. So we're going to find out more. But I'm glad that this fourth wall broke for Wanda. I love the confrontation between Wanda and Monica as well, because first of all, we realize that Monica does have powers now, and that her powers do allow her to resist some of Wanda's powers, but Wanda hasn't tried full bore to do anything to her yet. And Monica's right that Wanda isn't the villain, and that Wanda doesn't really want to hurt anybody. And I noticed that I don't think I mentioned it in the reactions, but I mentioned it in a comment to one of a response to one of the comments on one of my reactions, that remember when Wanda had all of the soldiers train their guns on Hayward? As she's going back in to the hex, they're still under the control. You can see the red on their face, and as the red starts to fade, they all simultaneously slam their guns down, point them all down at the ground, and then they are broken from the trance, whatever it was, the effect of Wanda, the nightmare, the wiggly woo, and that implies to me that she was being extra careful, that was just kind of a threat to stay away from me, the pointing of the guns, but she wanted to be extra careful that none of them accidentally fired their guns as they broke out of her control, because they might have been like fighting the control, and as soon as they broke out, their trigger finger might have snapped and shot a round at Hayward. She didn't want to kill Hayward. She didn't want to kill anybody. So the last act she did as she was going back in is make them all drop their guns. Watch the scene again. You'll see what I mean. They've still got the red glow as they all simultaneously jerk their guns down to the ground. That wasn't them pointing their guns at the ground after they broke out of the hex. She did that to them. She commanded them to do that. So she isn't the villain. She really doesn't want to hurt anybody. Monica was right. But of course, at that point, Monica was getting through to Wanda. So Agatha had to come out and basically kind of break character and take her away because she didn't want that to happen. Now, the big ominous thing, not only to get the fourth wall break, but the twins, where are they? She said they're probably playing in the basement, which means Agnes/Agatha wanted Wanda to go down there because she wanted this to happen. She wanted this confrontation and this reveal to happen. So the twins aren't down there. At least we don't see them down there. But there were some more passageways that we hadn't gone down. It also looks like this structure, this basement structure, was here this whole time. It was her lair, or her and her husband's lair, or her husband's lair, and that the town was built on top of it or something, or maybe this was built under the town long, long ago or something. But this looks like this has always been here. So that's spooky and scary. And yeah, we got confirmation at the end that Pietro is not Pietro. We suspected that. Monica, I don't. We didn't see enough to know if Monica is being influenced by the purple magic. We don't even know if honestly, if Wanda's being influenced by the purple magic. It washed over her, but that doesn't mean she's under its control. I don't want to think she is. I still want to think she's like one of, if not the most powerful characters in the MCU. So that's, God, we've left it a great cliffhanger of that fourth wall being broken, knowing who Agnes really is now. She admitted she's a witch. Her name is Agatha. She even gave her name. That Pietro's not Pietro. Probably is her quote-unquote husband. Monica's power. She has actual powers. She has been converted. Everybody had high hopes for Monica driving that vehicle in through the hex. It didn't work at all. We don't know for sure who her guy was. And if that was her guy, are they Skrulls? Now, they talked about Air Force being loyal to her mother and all that stuff. Maybe they are just straight-up Air Force people who knew her or worked with her. I don't know, but everything had sword logos on it, so I'm not sure. Though the Reed Richards thought was out, apparently, at least so far in this episode. And we don't know if there were Skrulls or not. So Jimmy's stuck on the outside now with that small Air Force team that has sword tech. Hayward has got a new sword team and a new base farther away. If you notice, it was much farther away from the edge of the hex. And talked about, let's go or something. So he has some sort of plan to destroy or get into the hex, which isn't going to work, I don't think. But we don't know for sure what that Project Cataract or whatever it is now. Is that the right code name? That project that Darcy uncovered and emailed to Jimmy, we don't really know what that's all about, other than we know that he had planned to do something with Vision, reactivate Vision, turn him into a weapon. That's all we know. Maybe there was some more information about how they were going to get inside the hex or something. I don't know. But so we've got all these players in action now, everything in action. I wonder if next episode, I can't imagine they're going to bother with a sitcom format. The world will still be the world inside there, and it basically caught up to now anyway, right? I mean, the mailman had become like a FedEx guy or something. Whatever the fake delivery company is. They'd caught up to today anyway. And in fact, I noticed that Wanda made a comment about quarantine. I don't think necessarily it was a direct COVID reference, but she said she's going to do a quarantine style, stay at home thing. And I think that was kind of a nod to it, but they basically caught up to now. So the illusions don't have to stay illusions anymore. They could just revert all the structures to what they are now and all the vehicles and things. And I don't know if now that Agnes has the twins and seems to have control now over with her husband Monica and Wanda, she doesn't need to control the people anymore. She could theoretically drop the hex, but I don't know that she would do that. And besides, it's been reinforced with Wanda's magic, so. But the people inside could probably be free now. I don't think she'd give a crap about that. She doesn't have to keep up the illusion anymore. That's my point. She doesn't have to keep up the illusion for Vision and Wanda about them living in this idyllic world. So she can just let go of the control of all those people, and she probably already has, because she exercised some power. If she was the one controlling the minds, which I think she was, and she was pretty clearly overstraining, that she couldn't get everybody under control at once, she probably dropped control now. So if we were to we came after she used her purple magic, the only thing we saw on the outside was Monica walking up to the door and then go to the basement door and Pietro talking to her. That's all we saw after that. If we were to see the regular people now, I bet you they're all free. That would be my guess. It'd be my hunch that they're all free now. And they're all like, what the hell? What's going on? And freaking out. But I bet you the hex is still up. Even if Agnes dropped hers, Wanda's is still there. I think, unless she forces Wanda's down, in which case maybe that go that Hayward talked about is going to be able to be done because the hex will drop. And then they will go in and try to fetch back Vision, and then there'll be a struggle for Vision. Ooh, that's probably what happened. I'm going to predict next episode the hex drops. Both the original and the red one drops. The walls drop. The people are free. They freak out, flee, and go nuts. And it becomes, in the next 2 episodes, it's 2 more episodes, right? It becomes Hayward trying to capture Vision. But wait a minute. If the hex drops, doesn't Vision fall apart? Maybe he does. But Hayward trying to get back Vision, Wanda breaking free of Agnes and protecting Vision or Vision's parts, and then Jimmy and Darcy helping Wanda as well as Monica. It's gonna be epic, and I still think we're gonna get a cameo from. I don't think that Pietro one was the big cameo they talked about. I don't think so. Might have been. I still think we're going to get a Doctor Strange. I really do. If this ties into Doctor Strange's movie, now it can tie in without Doctor Strange, but it would be a lot easier if it tied in with Doctor Strange. And he is Sorcerer Supreme. And Agnes says she's a witch. And, we have Scarlet Witch in the form of Wanda. It just makes sense that the Sorcerer Supreme would have seen what's going on here and noticed it, since it's so big now, that he would come along. So I'm still predicting we will get a Doctor Strange appearance. Maybe at the end of the next episode or beginning of the final episode. But I think we're going to get Doctor Strange. What do you guys think? What did I miss? I'm sure I missed something. What did you enjoy most about this? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know your theories and your thoughts. I love reading them. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.